Hey there, folks. It's Casey from The Nerdy Photographer. Today, we're going to talk about operating and loading your Minolta SRT-101 35mm film camera. Let's get into it. We have our Minolta SRT-101. I've got my 50mm f1.7 on there right now. Let's take a look at how this camera works. So we're going to start with this button right here on the side is your release for changing your lenses. And these are like a bayonet style lens mount. So you need to, and we mount our lens. But I figured that was the best place to start since the first thing you're probably going to do is want to mount a lens on this. Next, we have our shutter speed selection over here on this dial. You raise it up. You raise this button. You pull it up a little bit to change your film speed. 100, 200, 400, etc. Though, you know, if it's an older camera, the light meter on it probably is burnt out and might not work. And here you'll notice we have our shutter count. How many are, not shutter count, but our exposures. I don't know if you can see it with the light there. All right, so let's load this up with some film. We take this winding lever and we pull it up till it pops open. We're going to load some Ilford 400 black and white film in there. You need to pull this up far enough so that the prongs let you get the roll in there. You'll see we thread the film into this little pin here. And we're going to close it up. The next thing you do, you're going to release the shutter a few times until we get to our first exposure. One thing I will say, when you load the film, before you close the back hatch, wind your film a couple of times until you see the number go to 1 on there, and then you're ready to start shooting. I made the mistake of closing it up and starting to, wind it. You want to make sure that the film is actually winding before you close it up. Don't worry, you've got at least 3 or 4 frames before you get to the first frame of film on there. So, hit the shutter button and then wind it a couple of times. Make sure that it's actually winding onto the spool inside the camera before you close it up and start shooting. Okay, now how do we rewind the film on this Minolta SRT-101? Well, okay, so now we can't advance the lever any further. The shutter won't work. So what do? We go down here. There's a button on the bottom on the same side as the shutter release. You press this button in, it'll stay in, and that unlocks the film in here so that it can rewind the other direction. We open up here, see the arrow? Which way do we rotate? And we wind back, and you'll feel that there'll be resistance against winding back until all of a sudden it'll release, and there's like no resistance whatsoever. That means you've rewound it all the way. Then we take this and we pop it up until you'll feel it pop out. Opens up, and there's our film ready to be removed. It's still in there. You need to pull this all the way up to get it out. Otherwise, if you just leave it down, the prongs will still keep you from pulling it out. And now you rewound your film. You're ready to load another roll. And that's all for this video. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment about what kind of cameras you'd like to see next. I'm going to continue with this vintage analog film series of how to operate and load film into these cameras. Until next time, stay safe and stay nerdy.